Trump delivered a speech in Miami at some business leaders event, and we got a major glitch alert from his brain. And let me just play it for you. They want us to believe, as Levitt has been saying, that whenever he goes, and despite him getting MRIs and then cognitive tests, and then MRIs and cognitive tests, all these cognitive tests that they're throwing at him, and it's not because there's any problem. It's just because he wants to make sure he's sharp as he can be. And so, despite them saying he's in peak physical and mental condition, all right, okay, all right, Cole. He has moments every 2 seconds like this one.
You're going to use the machine, yep.
While you watch it, please do. I hate to do this, but think about this from our perspective. Every day we do the show. Bunch of free content. Millions of people watch it. Millions of people watch it who aren't subscribed. All it takes is you click in that button and you make me very, very happy, and you help to get our word out.
You're going to use the machine. You have to do it properly. And he didn't have any idea what was happening. And this is what we had as a president. We don't want that. You have the opposite right now. I don't want to be braggadocious, but you have the exact...
Okay, talk about my brain. That clip is him saying Biden didn't know what he was talking about. So that sets up nicely the main clip I wanted to show you, which is this.
Socialist Venezuela, and you see what happened to those places. For generations, Miami has been a haven for those fleeing communist tyranny in South Africa. I mean, if you take a look at what's going on in parts of South Africa, look at South Africa, what's going on. Look at South America, what's going on. You know, I'm not going to, we have a G20 meeting in South Africa. South Africa shouldn't even be in the Gs anymore, because what's happened there is bad. I'm not going. I told him I'm not going. I'm not going to represent our country there. It shouldn't be there. Take a look at what's happening in different parts of South America. Take a look at what's happening in different parts of the world. But now the Democrats...
So if you didn't understand what happened, because that was very confusing, he's meaning to say that people have immigrated to Miami from South America, and he accidentally says South Africa, and then his brain goes, why did you say South Africa? So then he just starts talking about South Africa and the G20 and what's going on in South Africa, if you take a look at South Africa, and then flips back to South America. And with that in mind, watch it again, and I'll show you what this reminded me of.
Socialist Venezuela, and you see what happened to those places. For generations, Miami has been a haven for those fleeing communist tyranny in South Africa. I mean, if you take a look at what's going on in parts of South Africa, look at South Africa, what's going on.
It's like, what's happening? You're trying to talk about South America. And you know it's a mental lapse when he starts repeating take a look multiple times. And this is the problem, or the most irritating part of his glitches, which is that he doesn't just admit he made a mistake. Instead, he has to start going, yeah, I meant to say South Africa, because South Africa is interesting for a lot of reasons. No, you're talking about South America. Don't do that. We just go South Africa. I mean, America. Similar thing when he accidentally said Obama.
Their leading political opponent, they're leading by a lot, including Obama. I'll tell you what, you take a look at Obama and take a look at some of the things that he's done. This is the same thing. The country is very divided.
This one's crazy because you can see the reboot. You can see it goes. Sometimes I'll be on ChatGPT and I'll ask it something, and then my internet's not working super great, or I'm overdriving it and there's too many tabs, and then it just freezes and reboots and erases everything. That's what just happened. He says Obama, and I guess he's meaning to say Biden or Clinton, I can't tell. And then watch as his brain has to go, turn off, wait 3 seconds, turn on.
Their leading political opponent, they're leading by a lot, including Obama. I'll tell you what, you take a look at Obama and take a look at some of the things that he's done. This is the same thing. The country is very divided. And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won.
You never won an election against Obama. No one knew what he was talking about. But that same take a look at. Then I was reminded of this one.
Now, having so much money coming out of the energy, we just have the best. We have Bagram in Alaska. They say it might be as big.
So again, Bagram is in Afghanistan, and he's talking about Alaska.
Now, having so much money coming out of the energy, we just have the best. We have Bagram in Alaska. They say it might be as big, might be bigger than all of Saudi Arabia. I got it approved. Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. I got it done. In their first week, they terminated it.
They terminated Bagram, which was bigger than Saudi Arabia.
Check that one out. Bagram. Check that one out. Think about this. Between Bagram, between you go to Anwar, you take a look at the kind of things that we've given.
You hear? It's such an interesting mental tell. He starts saying, take a look over and over. Because he's not meaning to say Bagram, but I guess Afghanistan and Alaska. So then he's like, Anwar, which is what he was meaning to say. And then he just starts going, well, take a look. There's a lot of things in the world, unrelated completely. Instead of going, why was I saying Bagram? That's weird. I meant to say
this. Between Bagram, between you go to Anwar, you take a look at the kind of things that we've given up now.
Mind blowing. Now, if you're MAGA, you're probably thinking, well, hey, Biden had his gaffes. Yeah, sure. But you know what Biden would do? He would just correct himself. Instead of going, I'd like to introduce President Putin. President Putin, President Putin's a guy, and that's not who I'm introducing, but Putin, I'm introducing the fact that we're going to defeat Putin by, that's how I'm introducing him. And so also, separately, you think Zelensky, you think Putin, you think Zelensky, you think Putin. Listen, Jack, Putin, he doesn't do that. He just went, oh, wait, I meant to say Zelensky.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
I'm better.
You are a hell of a lot better.
So at least he corrected himself. I don't know. That's an iconic clip. So iconic. At the same Miami event where Trump was struggling with South Africa, a country called Brazil came to me. I said, what's it like being from South Africa? And he also had the Miami mayor come up, Francis Suarez.
Thank you for your continued support of our vision for this city. It was an honor to stand beside you in the Oval Office when you announced the next year's G20 right here in the city of Miami. Thank you.
So I guess that one, Aaron Rupar was pointing out the visible droop in Trump's mouth. But do you remember Francis Suarez? I was like, I hadn't seen Suarez in a really long time. You might forget, but he ran for president. And it was such a brutal campaign. You remember this one with the Uyghur Muslims in China?
An ultimate question, Mayor. Will you be talking about the Uyghurs in your campaign?
What, the what?
The Uyghurs.
What's a Uyghur?
Okay, we'll come back to that. You won't be. You got to get smart on that.
And you gave me homework, Hugh. I'll look at what did you call it, a Weeble?
The Uyghurs. You really need to know about the Uyghurs, Mayor. You got to talk about it every day.
I will talk about. I will forward.
And then he came out after that and was like, I know everything about the Uyghurs. I just pronounced it Uyghur. So I thought I just pronounced it differently. So I didn't know what he was talking about. How would you not pick up context clues if you knew? Uyghurs in China? You could guess. Then this was one of my favorites from his presidential campaign. He was asked, in presidential campaigns, you raise millions. Kamala raised $1 billion. And, well, but there's a lot of money. And he gets asked how much money he's raised. He's like, definitely in the thousands. Like as if it would be in the hundreds. We've raised tens of dollars.
Can you tell me how many dollars you've brought in so far?
A lot.
I don't have the exact number because it's happening on a real-time basis. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's in the thousands for sure. It's in the thousands. I can tell you it's in the thousands, and we've got millions of people that have actually seen it. So we're going to
that have seen it. Our Twitter has gotten millions of impressions. Rough. So that's the little crash course on Suarez. Then we get back to Trump. You know, he has a very limited vocabulary. We know this. He doesn't introduce new words to his vocabulary very often. But I have to credit him. He used a word I've never heard him use before. He's getting his one new word a day.
Since March, the price of eggs is down 85%. Energy prices are down, interest rates are down, despite the fact that we have a total nincompoop at the Federal Reserve. It was recommended by one of my real great people, who I'd never spoke to again.
Trump, of course, selected the Federal Reserve chair, but he's lying. Let me play this clip. Nincompoop was the word I hadn't heard him use before. But listen to him say this, because he referenced everything's down.
What's happening? Grocery prices are way down, and Walmart. What's happening?
Oh, he also says at one point, this is it. Grocery prices are down. Grocery prices are up, not way down. Latest federal data from September, up 2.7% since September 2024, up 1.4% since January 2025 when Trump took office, up 0.3% since August 2025, after rising 0.6% July to August, largest spike in 3 years. That's Daniel Dale. So obviously we're used to his lies on those things, but that was the Trump business speech.